The first phase of colonial expansion. The first phase of colonial expansion, which began in the late 15th century and continued into the 18th century, was characterized by European exploration, maritime expansion, and the establishment of trading posts. Here are the key dynamics of this early colonial expansion phase. 1. Motivations for exploration. Trade routes and goods. European powers sought direct access to the lucrative spice trade in Asia, particularly in the Indian Ocean region. The desire for spices, precious metals, and other valuable commodities motivated explorers like Vasco da Gama and Christopher Columbus. Technological advances. Advances in navigation, shipbuilding, and maritime technology, such as the use of the compass and caravel, facilitated longer sea voyages. This enabled European explorers to venture beyond traditional trade routes. Establishment of trading posts. Portuguese expansion. Portugal led the way in the early phase of colonial expansion. Vasco da Gama's successful sea voyage to India in 1498 opened the sea route to Asia. The Portuguese established trading posts and forts along the coasts of Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. Competition among European powers. The success of the Portuguese spurred other European powers, including Spain, the Netherlands, England, and France, to establish their own trading posts and colonies in various parts of the world. 3. Mercantilism and economic gain. Mercantilist policies. European nations embraced mercantilist economic policies, aiming to amass wealth through a favorable balance of trade. Colonies were seen as sources of valuable resources and markets for finished goods. Triangular trade. A triangular trade system developed, involving the exchange of goods, including slaves, between Europe, Africa, and the Americas. This trade network was driven by economic considerations and contributed to the growth of colonial economies. 4. Competition and conflicts. Rivalry among European powers. As European powers expanded their colonial interests, competition and conflicts emerged. The struggle for control of key trade routes and territories led to conflicts such as the Anglo-Spanish War and the Anglo-Dutch Wars. Treaties and agreements. European powers sometimes formalized their territorial claims through treaties and agreements. For example, the Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494 divided newly discovered lands outside Europe between Spain and Portugal. Exchange and colonization. Cultural exchange. The encounter between European explorers and indigenous peoples led to cultural exchange, though often marked by misunderstandings and conflicts. European colonizers imposed their cultural, religious, and administrative systems on colonized regions. Religious mission. In addition to economic motives, religious mission and conversion were significant aspects of colonial expansion. Missionaries accompanied explorers to spread Christianity and establish missions in newly discovered lands. 6. Establishment of empires. Portuguese and Spanish empires. Portugal and Spain were the first to establish vast overseas empires. The Treaty of Jargoja in 1529 defined this phase of influence for Portugal and Spain in Asia. English and French empires. Following the decline of Portuguese and Spanish dominance, the Dutch, English, and French established their own colonial empires, with a focus on trade, plantation economies, and territorial control. The dynamics of this first phase of colonial expansion were characterized by a quest for wealth, competition among European powers, cultural interactions, and the establishment of early colonial empires. This period set the stage for more extensive colonization in subsequent phases, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries.